And I'm happy to introduce Anna Lövsén, Head of Business Unit in Water and Wastewater, Tekniska Verken. I was trying to find where that was translated somewhere. In Linköping. Has to do with technology for heating, water, and so on. So please.
That's correct. Thank you. Okay, I'm very happy to be here. And when I'm not here, I'm working with water and wastewater treatment at Tekniska Verken in Linköping. And for those of you who are not so familiar with Linköping, it's a city about 200 kilometers south of here. It's an inland municipality with about 150,000 inhabitants. And we have in Linköping a central wastewater treatment plant where we treat wastewater from more than 90% of our inhabitants. And as we speak, we are under the construction of an additional treatment step at our wastewater treatment plant to reduce pharmaceutical residues in the wastewater. And why is that? There is no legislation. How come and how are we carrying through with this project? Well, first of all, I would address the question, why consider this at all? We know some things about pharmaceuticals. We know that a significant part of what we consume goes through our bodies and ends up in the wastewater via urine and feces. We also know that our wastewater treatment plants today, they are not designed to take care of these substances. They are designed for other purposes. That goes for Swedish wastewater treatment plants and also for most European wastewater treatment plants. That said, however, some of the substances are more easily degradable and thus partly or fully reduced in our existing processes. But some of them are really persistent, and that means that they pass through our wastewater treatment plants, even the most modern ones, fairly unaffected, ending up in our recipients. So there are studies showing that some substances exist in levels at the outlet of wastewater treatment plants in such amounts or levels that they risk to affect the environment in a negative way. And some of those negative effects have been mentioned already here. I have some examples. For example, hormones, which face the risk of decreasing fertility, for example, among fishes and frogs. Another well-known topic is that of antibiotics in the environment, where we have a risk of developing and spreading multi-resistant bacteria. Another example of a negative effect, maybe not that well known, is that of anxiolytics or antidepressants, where a group of researchers at Umeå University showed that a certain anxiolytic called oxazepam, when they exposed purchase to that substance, the purchase changed their behavior, became bolder, and swam out on open water, very non-perch behavior. And what is the situation in Linköping? To find out, we carried out a very thorough study, including, for example, a 6-month pilot study. And it turned out that out of 42 chosen substances, 12 of them were in concentrations in outgoing wastewater, the ones that we let out to our stream, in such concentrations that they posed a risk of in some way affecting our local stream, Stångån. And on top of the list, there is a blood pressure medicine. Second is a antidepressant, the very same that the researchers exposed the purchase to. And there are some hormones, a group of hormones, and antibiotics, and Also, in the middle of this list, there is the substance diclofenac, and we were not surprised to find that there. As some of you know, it's the active substance in, for example, Voltaren and Ease, and maybe some of you have used it. It's a paste for painkilling, and it has turned out it is really, really hard to break down, and it has a long time to break down in nature. Okay, with the method we used, and the method is to add ozone. Our tests show that we can reduce, in average, 90% of the pharmaceutical residues in the wastewater, of course, with individual differences. And is this a huge construction? I would say no. This is a picture of our existing wastewater treatment plant showing the size of the new treatment step. And although, as I said, there is no legislation to force us to do this, the decision to carry through with this project was made or supported unanimously by the political board of Tekniska Verken. We started construction October last year, and we aim to start up the process this summer. Costs, of course, important. Are the investment cost approximately 2.5 million euros, and we've calculated the increased operating cost to be about 0.2 million euros per year, mostly electricity. Okay, I would say that this project has been made real thanks to clearly stated intentions all the way from owners' directives, as well as the company's vision, strategies, and core values. And that, of course, has to be captured by dedicated and competent personnel, and they have to be allowed to spend some time doing innovative thinking, not only solving the problems of this week. And of course, for Linköping, and in our case, there is the risk assessment showing that if we did nothing, we actually had a risk of affecting our local recipient in a negative way. And we could show that this could be done with a fair cost versus benefit. And my last slide, of course, the hands-on results from this project will be that we aim to improve the quality of our local stream and the nearby lake. But as you could see from the map, of course, our water runs somewhere, and it runs through lakes and rivers to the Baltic Sea, and ends up in Viken in Linköping. And last but not least, we are certain that the knowledge that will come out of this project will in the future also help to improve water quality more in general. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I will invite questions. Just a very quick one, because I think you're describing something very interesting, a quite successful implementation of a technology where you obviously receive good results already. We've heard a lot of the problems that have been described before by other speakers. How much of this do you share with other municipalities, other companies, others in the same sort of arena as you? Is this something that you do in Linköping alone, or is this part of a broader network of organizations?
We try to share all the knowledge with our colleagues, and I would say that is the common way of working, and I hope that many will be interested in the results achieved. And of course, the general problem that the wastewater consists of pharmaceutical residues is equal for everybody. But then there are huge differences in the circumstances surrounding the wastewater treatment plant, how sensitive the recipient is, and what possibilities there is to easily implement this new technology.
Okay, so it's a matter of cost or technology that is a challenge, you would say?
Yes, I would say that is one of the challenges. Yes.
Both, yeah. So, yes, please.
Since the time was so short, I thought I didn't have much time to describe the technology. But ozone is, as most of you know, a very potent oxidizing method. And we chose it not by coincidence. We looked for techniques used in Europe and in other parts of the world, already tested and proven to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Are there secondary environmental effects from this, or?
Of course, in the study, we studied that too, general toxicity. So we feel confident that we are not creating anything worse than we had before.
Okay. Any other quick question or comment? Okay, thank you. Well, I must say, I hope really, again, I mean, we don't have a lot of time, but it would be really interesting at some other point to discuss how you share insights and knowledge, because obviously, I mean, we have 290 municipalities in Sweden alone, so many of them must face similar challenges, even though, as you say, it differs from one place to another. But I think that sometimes this is really the problem. I mean, a lot of interesting work being done at individual companies in individual municipalities, so that sharing would be really interesting. Yeah,
but we do meet in lots of different networks, and we share knowledge, for example, through our organization Svenskt Vatten. So there are many forums where we can exchange knowledge.
Now they got provoked up here, so many people got provoked. So please, stand up so everybody can hear.
Do you have any plans of monitoring other chemicals than pharmaceuticals when you have implemented this? Because there would be a lot of other benefits.
Yes, of course. My short answer is yes.
Yeah, great.
So that's good. Tony?
Yeah. I just wondered if there is a lot of discussions about upstream work also when it comes to pharmaceuticals, especially if you are in a hospital or a place where a lot of people use a lot. So I just wonder if it is a combination, if you think about that, or if these substances that you have thought about, they are so widely spread, so it would be cost efficient to work upstream.
Well, upstream work is always cost efficient, but as Magnus mentioned, pharmaceuticals is a bit special since if it has a benefit for our health, we will use it even if it has a label that says dangerous or hazardous to the environment. So we do what everybody does, campaign about not flushing old medicine into the toilet, and that is, I would say, not a problem anymore. But the ones that we consume, I think we will have to address sort of end of pipe also, and also work upstream.
I thought about those where you have some kind of reaction in your toilet.
Okay. This is not a work we have started, but then there are some substances that could be exchanged for less problematic substances, and that is, of course, important work.
The final one.
It's correct.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It was a good piece of additional information. And you will also be sent out on a trip in the Baltic Sea at some point. So please, and a warm applause. Thank you very much.